So hey guys, welcome back to the explanation of My Friend's Little Sister Has It In For Me, Season 1, Episode number 2. Now, look, I have already explained the first episode, so if you haven't watched it yet, what are you even doing? Go and watch that first, and if you have, then come on, let's start the explanation of this episode without any delay. And yeah, please hype up the video. Well, at the start of the episode, we see Iroha, who says to our guy Senpai good morning, and then our guy Aki doesn't say anything to her. So Iroha asks, Senpai? Did something happen? I mean, why are you behaving so awkwardly? Where our guy starts to walk away, ignoring her. Then she says, tell me the truth. Did something happen at the meeting you went to yesterday? Our guy wonders to himself how this girl finds out about everything. And then he says, this is not your business, so you stay out of it. After saying this, he begins to leave. And well, we then see Mashiro giving her introduction to everyone, with the whole class listening. And then Mashiro says that Aki is her boyfriend, and hearing this, man, everyone is shocked, wondering how this guy managed to land her. And seriously, who says something like this in their intro? Suddenly, a guy stands up and says, I have a question. Mashiro says, yes, ask. He asks, when exactly did you meet Aki? She thinks for a moment and tries to say something, but then says, I don't remember. And well, after saying that, she comes and sits next to Aki. Aki starts looking at her, and then he says, by the way, let's try to make it work, okay? To which she replies, don't talk to me. Don't even look at me. I know what a big pervert you are. I can't even talk to a guy like you. And then we see them talking amongst themselves. He says, look, whatever you want to do or say to me, you can say it to me outside. Because if you say it here, then everyone will find out what's going on between us. And then there will be no point in you and me being here. After this, Mashiro agrees, saying, okay. Just then, we see Aki's friend, Ozuma, call out from behind. Aki, you haven't told me about this yet. I mean, when did all this happen? Aki replies, look man, it's not what you guys are thinking. Anyway, I'll tell you the whole truth later. Ozuma says, alright, fine. He then looks towards Mashiro, but she starts ignoring him. With that, the scene shifts, and we see Aki explaining the whole truth to Ozuma about what happened yesterday and how he has been asked to act as a fake boyfriend. Hearing this, Ozuma says, dude, you literally sound like the main hero of a rom-com. Then our guy replies, you're one to talk. You're the one who looks like a main character, not me. Then Ozuma says that his sister is also in love with him. Aki replies, hey, shut up man, it's nothing like that. She doesn't love me or anything. But Ozuma says, no, that's not true. You are like a dense protagonist or something. He then says, all right, I'll go get lunch. Then a guy comes up to Aki and starts talking to him, saying, dude, how many girls do you have wrapped around your finger? I mean, even that junior of ours is in love with you. Aki says, no, it's not like that. That was Ozuma's sister, and she was just lying to you all yesterday. And man, Mashiro was listening to all of this and getting very angry. Seeing her face, Aki understands what's about to happen. Aki then fools the guy and sends him away, saying, well, at least he's gone. Just then, we see Mashiro, and man, she looks furious. She stands up straight. Our guy says, hey, got a problem? But Mashiro still looks angry and says, I don't know anything. I'm your girlfriend, right? So go and bring me lunch. Our guy says, what? I wasn't supposed to do all this. She replies, just go now, or do you want to call this whole dating thing off? Our guy says, okay, I'm going. And well, he goes and brings food for Mashiro and gives it to her. Then he says, you're not even going to say thanks, are you? Well, forget it. Why bother? And well, he goes and sits at his seat and starts eating, thinking about all these things. And just then, we see their hot teacher make her entry. She talks to everyone and greets them in her own way. She suddenly asks, tell me, who among you hasn't done the homework? Tell me the truth. One of the guys stands up and says, I'm sorry. I forgot to do it. Then she says, what? He replies, yes. To which she says, look, if you don't improve yourself, you could end up in a really bad place. You have to control yourself. You have to control your emotions and become a decent person. This goes for all of you. Hearing this, the guy is terrified. She then tells him, look, this should be your first and last time. If you do something like this again, I won't spare you. The guy says, okay. And, well, the class gets over. As she's leaving, she says, Aki, meet me in the student council office. Aki replies, okay, and, well, she leaves after saying that. Just then, another guy says, dude, what does that hottie want from you? Our guy replies, how would I know? She's just calling me. Then they ask, aren't you scared? He says, why should I be scared? It's not like she's gonna kill me. Well, after this, the scene shifts, and we see that Aki has finally arrived in front of the student council office. He goes there and says, "I'm Aki." Hearing this, a voice from inside says, "Okay, you can come in." The guy opens the door, goes inside, and sees the teacher standing there. She says, "You couldn't wait, could you? You came so quickly." Aki quietly comes in and sits on a chair. And just then, we see his teacher, and man, she literally comes and falls at his feet. Yes, that's what she does. I mean, I was shocked myself watching it, wondering what was going on. She's begging him for forgiveness. Our guy says, "All right, at least you realize your mistake." Then, our guy explains that Kageshi, his teacher, is actually the third member of his game development team, meaning there are 5 members in his game, and Kageshi is the third. And man, this was a really shocking revelation. The reason she is groveling is that Aki had given her a task to complete some artwork, but this girl got busy with her own work and couldn't do it. And Aki did not like this at all. Aki asks, "Okay, tell me one thing. How much of the work I gave you have you done?" She brings it and shows him, saying, "Look, I have finished up to this point." Aki says, "Oh, really? That's great." Then angrily says, "You haven't even started yet. Come here, I'll show you." And you know what? He picks her up and starts stuffing her into a box. He says, "Now you can just live in here." She says, "Please forgive me. I mean, I was suffering from artist's block. It will never happen again." But man, our guy is quite angry. He says, "All right, fine. I guess I can give you one more chance. Look, if you can't do it, then you should have just come to me sooner." And later, our guy recalls meeting her for the first time and how he hired her for the job. And when Aki starts to leave, she then asks, "Are you and Mashiro really dating?" He says, "No, it's nothing like that." Then he explains everything related to the game. He says, "I went to a meeting yesterday and I was told that I have to do this so that they will help me later on. Meaning I just have to pretend that I'm Mashiro's boyfriend." She says, "Oh, is that so?" He says, "Yes," and explains that it will also benefit their game a lot. The girl then says, "Wow, you are truly an amazing person. I mean, you are doing so much for your game and for us." He says, "This is the optimal solution for our game now." And the girl says, "Okay, I understand." Then Kageshi reveals, "You know why Mashiro came here?" Our guy says, "Because she was a shut-in." Then she explains, "Look, at her previous school, Mashiro was bullied a bit. I mean, she wasn't allowed to live there comfortably, which is why she transferred schools. So I want you to provide her with a very good environment here so she can enjoy this school and her life to the fullest." Our guy says, "Okay, I will absolutely do that." And Kageshi looks very happy. Well, after this, the scene shifts, and we see our guy finally with Mashiro. He says, "Mashiro, can we walk home together?" Mashiro replies, "Give it a rest." The whole class is listening to this and starts saying, "Is this the endangered tsundere species?" Some girl whispered, "They are already a perfect couple now." After hearing this, she gets embarrassed, picks up her bag, and leaves. Well, we then see Ozuma walking towards Aki, where our guy says, "Why is she so indifferent towards me?" To which Ozuma says, "She is a good kid, just give her some time." To which our guy Aki says, "I hope we at least become friends." The scene shifts again, and we see our guy, Aki, finally putting on his shoes to go home. Just then, we see Iroha come from behind, and man, she literally hangs on him from behind, pressing her chest into his back. She says, "Now, guess who I am?" Our guy says, "What's there to guess?" I know the voice, which pisses me off the most. And then we see that this girl grabs Aki tightly from behind and says, "Senpai, are you noticing anything?" He says, "Noticing what?" She says, "Something soft and squishy?" He says, "What do you mean?" And then he notices, oh man, her assets are pressed completely against my back, and the guy starts blushing a lot. She says, "Yes, exactly. I forgot to put it on." The guy thinks, what is going on here? Has this girl gone crazy or what? Well, this girl keeps hugging him even more tightly. But our guy tries his best to push her away. But man, she refuses to let go. Our guy starts to think about a lot of things. He thinks, what will happen if someone finds out about this? And if I push her away, everyone will see that she's not wearing anything underneath, and her shirt button is about to break. I mean, man, that's what she had told him. After that, our guy thinks further, if that happens, then her brother will be angry with me, and then Mashiro will find out about all this. And after that, my uncle will find out, and when he finds out, whatever I have planned will be completely ruined. Meaning, one mistake from this girl, and I'll be completely ruined. Then he says, no, that's not going to happen. I won't let anyone see her. He literally picks her up on his back and starts running. She says, just put me down. I was joking. Nothing of mine is showing. He says, no, I'm going to carry you like this now. And he literally starts running with her on his back. and this girl is repeatedly telling him, "No, put me down. I mean, it's not what you think." But he says, "Okay," and then puts her down. Then she says, "Look, actually, I was wearing something underneath, but I wanted to make you feel awkward, and in the process, I unhooked it. I mean, man, is this girl crazy or what?" After this, the scene shifts, and we see that they are finally on their way home. Our guy asks Iroha how to be friends with a girl. Iroha first gets a little jealous, and then gives him some ideas. He follows through the next day in school and starts doing various things to please Mashiro and become friends with her. To which Mashiro later gets angry and asks Aki, "You knew this would annoy me, but you still did it. Do you hate me that much?" Then, when our guy was about to say something, Iroha appears and says, "I was the one who set it up." But then Mashiro gets angry at them, thinking they were making fun of her, and leaves while furiously saying to them, "Did you have fun pranking me, you dirty couple?" Aki and Iroha both realize that they made her angry and go to their houses. And when they reach their building, they find Mashiro in front of them. She asks, "Are you two following me? What?" He says, "No, I mean, I live here." Then Iroha also says, "I live here too." Then she asks Iroha, "What are you to Aki?" Iroha says, "I am his sister." Then Mashiro asks Aki, "Do you have a sister?" To which Iroha replies, "I am his friend's sister, so I am his sister in spirit too." Mashiro then asks, "Do you two live together?" Then our guy says, "Wait a minute, I think you are very mistaken here. Actually, your room number is 501. My room number is 502, and Iroha's is 503, and her brother's is also 503. And our teacher, Kageshi, her room is 504. I mean, all of us live right here." Hearing this, Mashiro is extremely shocked. She says, "Aki, you suck. Living near you all sucks," and ran away, closing her room's door. And after that, Aki decides to meddle in her life to get it back on track. And, well, with that, this episode ends right here. So, let me know in the comments what you thought of the episode. How was the explanation? And yeah, if you liked it, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Well then, I'll see you in another new video with another new explanation.